Hey YouTube, how's it going? Hope everyone's keeping well out there. This is my first video of 2021. It's a pickups video, my 6th pickups video I believe in the series. I've got 26 items here that I'm going to go through now, and these I've had for quite a while, probably ranging back from very late October into November of last year. I'll go through them like I usually do in chronological order. So, swig of coffee. Right, now the first item I've got here isn't gaming related, but it's pop culture, it's retro, and it's from the 80s, so I thought I'd include it quickly. After the second lockdown, I was going through a charity shop and I went through the board game section, and out the corner of my eye I saw Transformers written down the spine of this box, and at first I thought it was a puzzle or some board game, but it actually turned out to be the NTSC complete box set for all the original cartoons. And is it Unicron, the big planet-eating robot? The casing's based on that. It's all complete. The discs are in gorgeous condition. The only thing missing that I've noticed is the overall card for that covers this, and it just had Transformers on it in Anniversary Edition. This is from 2009. And the Autobot sticker is missing, but the Decepticon sticker is in there. But yeah, it was only £2, so I had to pick that one up. I'll just whack that one off to the side there. Now the first gaming related item is a console. As I've alluded to before, I collect for my gaming history, so all the way from the ZX Spectrum all the way through to the PlayStation 4. It's just a kind of journal cataloguing of my gaming history. But there was one console previous to the ZX Spectrum that I did own, and I believe it was this one. It's the Binatone TV video game system. Now there were loads of these knocking about back in the day. You know, loads of different variants of Binatone, but there was Grandstand, and obviously all off the back of Pong that was made famous in the 70s. But I'm pretty sure it was with this one. My versions, I distinctly remember the orange casing, and I'm not going to open it all up there, but yeah, it's got tennis, squash, football. Well, doesn't matter, they're all the blimmin' same, aren't they? They're just one line hitting a ball from one side of the screen to the other, but we loved them just the same back in the day. The idea of controlling something on the TV that usually you just watched was mind-blowing back in the day. And the little control paddles go into the back of the console on this one, so I'm just going to leave it in there. There's that one. Starting off with a true classic there. Now we're going to move on to the ZX Spectrum. I've got 3 games. The first one is Carrier Command. It's in lovely condition, it's all complete. The manual's kind of this really thick, top secret themed guide, and it's all complete with the tapes and everything in there. But this one, I love the box art. Very, very 80s with the colours and the graphics there. But this was the first kind of simulation game I played, and I was taken back thinking it was going to look something similar to the screenshots on the back, but obviously in small print there it says for the Atari ST, which is a bit naughty, but they all used to do that back in the day. And yeah, you could control your ship. You had these different panels looking at your fuel and your weapon systems, and back in the day I just used to load it up just to look at it and think, you know, I'm going to play this and get really good at this, but it was just a bit too much for me, and I booted it up recently and it all come flooding back, but those kind of screens. You do need to invest and read through the manual in this to get an idea of how to play the game, and yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to do that quite yet, but there's that one. Had to pick that one up out of more nostalgia than anything else. Just really remember that box art. The second one is Cabal, which is a bit like Operation Wolf, sort of shooter with your target on the screen. You've got to shoot all the baddies and things. And yeah, I remember good times with this. Was it on the Spectrum? I played it over at my friend Andrew's on the Commodore 64. I think it might have been the latter actually, and I do have a little bit of memory playing it on the Spectrum also. So there's that one. Now the last game for the Spectrum is Monty on the Run. There's quite a few Monty games in the series. I'll even say Monty is a game that I'm looking out for as well. And I can't remember, I might have played it on both the Commodore 64 and around my friend Rob's on the Sinclair Spectrum 128. And it was kind of a puzzle action game where you had to escape something. I can't remember, but it was a long time ago. But I do have fond memories of playing Monty on the Run. We're going to jump to the PlayStation now and start off with a soundtrack. Now, I really love my soundtracks, and I've created a little playlist on my iPhone, and full of decent music. You know, some Nintendo stuff and a lot of RPG stuff. And this is an RPG I haven't played, but I came across this soundtrack on YouTube, and I really enjoyed it. So I put a search preset in eBay, and it came up, and I got this for a really good price. It's Chrono Cross, part of the Chrono Trigger series. This only got an American release on PlayStation, I believe, and obviously maybe Japanese, but it didn't get a PAL release. But the soundtrack is excellent. What I'm going to do is put a quick sample tune on now. It's got loads of great tunes on there, lots of upbeat action stuff for boss battles and things, and just general battle music, and lots of down-tempo exploration kind of music. Really nice, thoroughly recommended, and I got that for a cracking price, so really pleased with that. I might do a little episode actually one day, all the soundtracks I have, but we'll see. The next game, I've been looking for this one for a while. It's a platformer, but I wanted it in the double case, and it's Mickey Wild Adventure, but it came up for a buy it now of £14. And it's the black label version, so I thought, yeah, I just want to play the game. It looks really colourful and lovely, and I remember Disney on the 16-bit systems was excellent, and this one looks very good also. But yeah, still keeping my eye out for that the double CD, double disc version, or the double case version. The next game is Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds. Now, yeah, this one holds its value. It's around like the £20 mark, but I got this for, I think it was about 17, something like that, about 17, 18 pounds. And in this, you play a tank taking on the Martians and their tripods. But the big pull for this, it got good reviews. I did look at some gameplay on YouTube and looked at a few reviews through Google. But the fact that it's got Jeff Wayne's soundtrack playing in the background, which I'm a huge fan of, that was a real selling point for me. So yeah, there's that one. Let's move these back like that. The last PlayStation 1 game I've got here is Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. Now, a good few videos ago now, I mentioned that me and the wife, mainly the wife, likes playing Dr. Robotnik's Bean Machine on my PlayStation 4 Mega Drive collection. Absolutely loves it. She still loves playing it. And Eddie Rollercool chimed in and mentioned this game. Now, this was very much on my radar anyway, but the fact that Eddie said it was very much in the spirit of Mean Bean Machine sort of pushed me on to get this one. My wife's played it. She's come up to the games from a couple of times, a number of times now we played it. And yeah, it's very good fun. She really enjoys it as well. It's got that Street Fighter 2 license in there with Tetris, more so columns really. Very good puzzle game. Onto the PlayStation 2. Got a horror survival game, and it's obscure. I do want to get the second one. Love my horror games. Do want to try and pick up as many as I can on the systems that I do collect for, and I have got quite a few, and I've got another one coming up actually on the PlayStation 3. But yeah, obscure. There's 4 games, is there, for the PlayStation 2? Let's have a look. Dark Chronicle, RPG, and a follow-up to Dark Cloud. Yeah, really want to give those a go. This one I didn't even know existed. We've got a shop now that's opened up in Plymouth, revival games, and when this lockdown's finished, lockdown number 3, I'm going to speak to the owner, Paul. I believe you've met him, Tootie, if you're watching actually. He's called Paul Mattock. Anyway, he's opened this game store, and it's really, really good. Lovely guy, Paul. It's designed very well, the store. Hope to take some video footage in an episode coming up in the near future. Like I say, when lockdown's over. But anyway, looking to pad out my PlayStation 2 collection. And I saw Jack X. And I didn't know they did a racing game, but yeah, it plays really well. Great graphics, great sound. The only thing I didn't like about it, and I don't think there was a control to change it, is when you're driving the cars, I prefer to be a bit more elevated looking down at the car from behind as you're driving around the course. This one you're quite low, so I found it a bit hard to see exactly where you were going. But yeah, recommend a game. Do check that one out. It's cheap as chips as well, only a few quid. I loved this series when it came on. My mate Pete, who I always mention in all my videos, is a bit of a sci-fi geek, and he mentioned Battlestar Galactica to check out, and I thoroughly enjoyed the series actually, much more than I thought I would do. And yeah, this game's apparently okay, and because I'm so familiar with the IP now, I thought I'd give this one a go. Again, really cheap, about £5, something like that, all complete. There's that one, Space Shooter. And the last one for the PlayStation 2, again I picked this up from Revival Games, only a couple of quid. Intellivision Lives. I like my compilation games of all the really old stuff. I've got no interest in the Intellivision itself. Again, it was before my time, and I do find it a little bit too primitive, but this is just a lovely little piece to have. And in this, when you boot it up on the PlayStation 2, it starts off and you're in this kind of hub, which is, it almost looks like it could be the Intellivision game studio or something like that. And you sort of pan around and you can see interviews with game designers from the Intellivision days, and and you go to this arcade machine that's set up there, and then you zoom into it, and then you can pick which game you want to play, and it's got other little tidbits and things like that in the hub world. So yeah, a couple of quid, wanted to get that one. Jumping onto the PlayStation 3 is Metal Gear Rising, what's it called again? Resurgence. I played this probably about 5 or 6 years ago now, and I thought it was alright. It's got that Platinum Games kind of vibe to it, where you're running around like a hack and slash, a 3D hack and slash, and it was alright. Looks stunning. Yeah, it's just, I just find those games a little bit boring after a while. Bayonetta on the other hand is way better than this. Next is a game that I remember coming out, and it did have quite a bit of hype around it, but then once it came out, it didn't get too many great reviews. Again, a kind of 7.5 out of 10 game, and that is Remember Me. It's got like a sci-fi 3D action game vibe to it. I've seen some gameplay videos, and maybe it's been patched a little bit now, but this one's currently sealed, and I got this one dirt cheap, so keen to see what that one's like. Next is another horror game, or zombie game. I love my zombie games as well as anything horror-esque, and that's Dead Island. This is the Game of the Year edition. Yeah, and I've got the other one. Is it Riptide? I believe that's the second one. Yeah, first-person action shooter game where you're just slaying lots of the undead. And this last one is a Japanese game. I was looking, because the PlayStation 3 is multi-region, I've been looking at a few games to get for it that were Japanese only. And again, this one's really, really cheap. And I saw this one on a video on YouTube, and it just looks really interesting. It's called Tokyo Jungle. It's got that lovely, weird Japanese quirk to it. And in this, apparently, human beings have died out in the world, and the only things left are animals, and you're controlling these animals in Tokyo, and it's a survival action game, and I believe you recruit different animals and you take different animals out on little quests and missions and things like that. But yeah, check out some gameplay for that, but it looks really, really interesting. Next we're going to jump on to the 3DS. I've been recently hitting the 3DS collection quite hard, trying to get only the good games and games that I'm interested in. Getting some physical forms of these. The first one is Shinobi, which I booted up and looks really, really good. Plays really well. The controls are really tight. I'm currently playing Metroid Samus Returns though, so that one's been parked for the time being. Really enjoying Metroid on it. Put it down just before Christmas, and I thought it was okay, but after the New Year, I think because Christmas was out of the way and I felt a bit more relaxed, I just booted it up again, and really, really enjoying Samus Returns on the 3DS. Really good game. The next one is Fire Emblem Awakening. This is supposed to be the best, if not one of the best, on the 3DS, and I think this takes advantage of the new 3DS capabilities. The new 3DS having a little bit more power just to push some polygons around and things like that. I think that takes advantage of it, although it doesn't say on the case like Xenoblade Chronicles does, but I believe I read that somewhere. Right, getting there now. The next one is for the Wii U. It's a platformer, 3D platformer, and it's Pac-Man 2 and the Ghostly Adventures. Apparently very, very good. Is it Pete Dorr, the American YouTuber or Twitch player now? Twitch streamer now. He recommended this series, and I checked out some footage, years ago. I've been looking for this one, and finally got this for a decent price. And again, looking for the first one as well. So do like the Wii U. And now for the PlayStation 4, I've got 3 games. The first one, we'll start with a VR game. It's Intruders. I got this in CEX down in Cornwall, and it was about £6, something like this. But keeping my eye open for it, it looks really, what's the word to use for this? Derpy. The polygon models look really poor in VR. The characters look really quite dumb, but the game premise sounds very interesting to me. It's going to get the anxiety going. Basically, you're in this big house, and I haven't quite played it this far yet, just in the tutorial stage, and baddies, burglars, enemies come in and infiltrate the house, and you've got to navigate through the house, hiding behind objects, hiding in cupboards and things like that, which you can sort of peer out of. You have to keep perfectly still and perfectly quiet. So looking forward to giving that one a bash. Next 2 games I played, what was it? Yakuza 0. I asked a couple of questions online and asked if that was going to be a good place to start, and a lot of people recommended that one. But this one looks quite good as well, and it's Judgment. I don't think I'm going to play through all the Yakuzas. I think they're quite lengthy games, and I've definitely got a feel for the Yakuza universe. And whilst I really enjoyed Zero, the storytelling is very good. I mean, there's some bizarre missions that you get in it, but the story and the characters and the acting in it is excellent. This one looked just a little bit different, so I'm keen to play this one. And my last game here is Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Really looking forward to playing this one. Super Castlevania 4 is my favourite game of all time. Well, joint first with Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, and I really did enjoy Symphony of the Night on the PlayStation 1, although I didn't play it on the PlayStation 1. I downloaded a digital copy on the PlayStation 3 and was just blown away by it. I can see why everyone really holds that game in such high regard, and it is one of my biggest gaming regrets. I never picked that game up on the PlayStation 1 when I had the chance to pick it up for £50 after seeing what prices it's going for now, what price it's commanding now. It's it's one of those games that's a regrettable non-purchase. But anyway, really looking forward to playing this one. That lovely 2D action platformer, and I love the art style. It's by the original guy that did the Castlevania, so really looking forward to playing that one. And that's it, peeps. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care out there, stay safe, and I'll see you again.